I think that we're living through the Bitcoin gold rush era. And I think the Bitcoin gold rush era started January 2024. And I think it runs until around November 2034. So it's about 10 years. And I'll tell you why. Because 93.5% or so of the Bitcoin was mined at the beginning of this period. But in November of 2034, 99% of all the Bitcoin that will ever be issued will have been issued. And so that halving is very symbolic. People talk about Bitcoin, issuance coming out over the next 100 years, all the way till 2140. But the truth of the matter is, the last 100 years, you're only getting 1%. So think, and actually of that 1%, 90 basis points of it is coming in the 12 years that follow 2034, and then it's 10 basis points, 1/10%. But practically speaking, all of the block rewards are de minimis starting in 2034. It's 1% over 100 years may as well be nothing, because the daily volatility and the daily trading volume is going to render that to be somewhere between third order, fourth order, fifth order of magnitude. So that being the case, really, this 10 years is your best chance to get Bitcoin, right? This is the gold rush, because this is the period where there's still a lot of FUD. There's still a lot of uncertainty. People still aren't sure. They don't understand digital energy. They don't understand digital capital. They don't understand digital property. There's a lot of debate in the community. Is Bitcoin a currency, or is it a property? Or, there's massive debate. And a lot of people say, well, it's a currency, and since it's not legal tender, or because it doesn't move fast enough, or I can't buy coffee with it, it's not a good currency. So there's a lot of confusion in the crypto community. There's a lot of mainstream regulators. They think it's a currency. So you see bankers say, oh, it's a currency, but it's not a good currency because I can't buy coffee with it. I can't buy things online with it, and it's too volatile. And they think that's a criticism. And so they criticize it. And then people that think that they know what they're talking about, they hear some famous person say, well, Bitcoin is not a good currency, and or the government will ban it, or it's not as good as the dollar or something. And so they get afraid. And they say, well, then I trust that guy, so I'm not going to buy it. So a lot of people are criticizing it for the wrong reason. A lot of people misunderstand it, and that creates lots of chaos, misinformation, stupid, misleading stories in mainstream media. It creates like bad takes on Twitter. It creates all sorts of confusion amongst Wall Street analysts. And so all of that fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and just basic confusion, and then misunderstanding, that causes a slow growth in demand, right? Like, demand is growing, but imagine how much faster it would be growing if everybody had spent 100 hours, right? Right? The people that criticize it, there's no way Warren Buffett spent 100 hours studying Bitcoin, right? There's not likely that everyone that criticizes it spent 100 hours studying it. They haven't read the Bitcoin Standard. They probably haven't listened to 20, 30, 40 hours of podcasts, right? So the critics are misinformed, and the mainstream investors, they have all the money, right? There's $900 trillion of wealth out there. There's only $1 trillion in Bitcoin. So 99.9% of the money, of the wealth, is not invested, right, in the asset class. So a lot of people that don't understand what this is have a lot of money, and yet we've got a 10-year period when there's going to be an explosive increase in education, right? As Bitcoin's going to go up. And as the price goes up, more people are going to get asked, and they're going to reject. They're like, stop asking me. I hate talking about this. Like, we don't like it because it's like gold. It doesn't generate cash flows, or they don't understand. If you don't understand perfect money, right? What's wrong with gold? Gold has emissions. Gold is inflationary. That's why it doesn't work. if you don't understand that, then you don't understand why digital gold is better than gold. So you don't understand Bitcoin, you don't understand money, and then you haven't really thought very deeply about property theory or capital theory. So you definitely don't understand digital capital.